So Joe and I were touring this train record in the United States of America in the lead up to their election. It was a tough one for me because we had a couple of solo songs we have played every night which allowed me to introduce some politics, but obviously with regard to our relationship to the Americans, for we British, Brexit has robbed us of our intellectual superiority over the Americans. It's terrible. It's really hard to get them. But fortunately, one of the candidates in the election was kind of so far out ahead of Brexit, it was actually quite easy to kick his ass. And particularly at the time when he was talking about building a wall on the Mexico border, it was able, it was possible to really rub the Americans' nose in that. And one night, while Joe was doing his solo spot, I was off stage, I was listening on my phone, listening to the midnight news from London, and something made me think about what my government is doing with regard to economic migrants and refugees trying to get in my country. What we do is we pay the French authorities to stop people coming in the Channel Tunnel, and they end up living in abject squalor in the Calais jungle and places like that. What happened was we got them to get rid of all the young men, so now it's just women and children who are living in abject squalor there, and there's another winter coming. They've got nowhere else to go, and my government, we're holding them there, and then we, all of us, as citizens of the European Union, we are paying the Turkish government, Erdogan, we're paying him to keep refugees from the worst place on earth, Syria, in tents in eastern Turkey to stop them coming in to the European Union. Now, given those two things, do we really have the moral authority to attack the Americans or anyone who's talking about building a wall on the Mexican border when we ourselves may not build walls, but we do our damnedest to stop people who are coming to look for help, for getting the help that they need? Because most of them, they just want a better life for their children. Same as you, same as me. It's not really that different. And this issue of people moving and traveling for a better life, if you think it is bad now, when the climate change really starts to happen, and those places where it's hard to live now become impossible to live, and those places where it's tough to live become hard to live, the waves of migration are going to be phenomenal. And it's the great issue of our time. Never mind all this shit that's happening with Brexit and Trump. It's the great issue of our time, how we deal with those people who come to look for safety where we are safe. And we will be judged, not only by history, but by our children and our grandchildren. They will ask us, what did we do in that time? It will come to us all. So I want to play this song for you that I first heard at Occupy London in 2011, sung by a young woman from Vermont whose name was Anaïs Mitchell. She stood on the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral and sang this song. It was incredibly powerful then. Since that time, it's only become more and more powerful. It's one of those songs that seems like it's an incredibly old folk song. She wrote it a few years ago. I want to sing it for you now. It's called Why We Build the Wall. My children, why do we build the wall? Why do we build the wall? We build the wall to keep us free, that's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. How does the wall keep us free? My children, how does the wall keep us free? How does the wall keep us free? The wall keeps out the enemy. We build the wall to keep us free, that's why we build the wall. We build the wall to keep us free. Who do we call the enemy? My children,